This episode of The Horror Show is sponsored by Justine C., Gia G., and Nicholas H. These guys are sponsoring on our Patreon page, patreon.com/IHateHorror. You can donate any denomination. At $5, we give away some bonus episodes, which we just started doing finally. Google Hangouts, things like that, and early access to the episodes. So if you can monetarily donate, do so at patreon.com/IHateHorror. We really appreciate everyone that's on there. We can't thank you enough. So thank you guys very much. Just another thing before we start this episode, Mr. Boogedy, we have an announcement to make. We are now a part of the Bloody Disgusting Podcast Network. That's right. BloodyDisgusting.com is launching a podcast network. I don't know if it's officially announced yet, but we have been given approval to announce it on our show, that they do have a podcast network now. We are a part of it, and super happy. I think there's going to be a few more shows that they're going to announce. Not a lot, though. Just a small handful that I think really strong handful, too, though. So we're really excited about that. And I'll cut in right now, actually. Joe and I, if you are a Patreon member, you might have heard this on our early access episode. I cut it out because we weren't sure if we should have put it in or not. But we kind of talk about going to Bloody Disgusting and that choice. It was on last week's episode. I ended up cutting it out before it released to the general public. I ended up cutting it out. So some of you may have heard this. If you haven't, enjoy. And then I'll go straight into... We'll go straight into the Mr. Boogedy episode. All right. Oh, and we talked about how we are doing Treehouse of Horrors. I believe that's next week. So that'll be the week after this. We're doing Treehouse of Horrors. And those episodes are going to be, we didn't pick them out at the time. They're going to be Treehouse of Horrors 7 and Treehouse of Horrors 20. So make sure you catch up on those. Those are on like that FX Now app. So check those out. And I think that's next week or the following week. But I think it's next week. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show. And then that's it. And then maybe we're not sure, but this might be our first episode on Bloody Disgusting.
Yeah.
Podcast network.
Very exciting.
Very excited. It might not be. We're not sure. We're still waiting on some paperwork at the time of this recording, so hopefully it's all done and we're a part of that network, and we're super happy to do that. I know we when we went to the other company,
what company?
Oh, you're doing it. Okay. When we went there, though, we talked about, like, it was an honor and stuff, and it was, but, like, for different reasons. Like, that's just, like, a legendary name.
Yes.
But I remember Bloody Disgusting being the first horror website, like, that I was getting my news from.
Definitely was huge when we were in college.
Yeah.
For me, personally, like, that's where I would check every day.
Yeah, I remember specifically being like, oh, I should look at horror news. And you immediately think Fangoria, and you went to their website, and it was abysmal. Like, honestly, it was really bad. I mean, that's not a joke. Use the Wayback Machine and check it out. It's bad. But they didn't have news. They weren't doing it online. And then Bloody Disgusting, like, kind of came and just fucking ran away with it. And I think they're the most popular horror website in the world, news website in the world. So it's cool to partner with a company like that.
For sure.
So we'll have more details about that soon. Like I said, we're not 100% on it. We're still waiting for word, so we'll see. We'll see. But we're happy to be there. If not, you won't hear this. And that's it. Do we want to talk about the other thing? I don't really care.
She's always asking why I like watching people die, and why I give my kicks while others scream and cry. And my friends think that I'm sick, or maybe uneducated, and my family doesn't want to admit that they are related. And monsters and madmen who rape and mutilate are perfect entertainment when I
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Did I say that right?
Oh, yeah, I was shaking my head at Antonio Brown being so good.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I thought...
No, sorry.
I had a
I realized when I was
stroke.
doing that, I was like, wait, Sean's doing the intro.
Joe gave a look like, holy shit, like, what the fuck?
Well, that was a great catch.
Yeah, no, it was very good. Oh, welcome back, guys. Hope you're still here after that 31 Days of October episode. I think it was entertaining.
Yeah, whatever.
Deal with it. Fucking deal with it. It's fucking free. God damn it. Yeah, welcome back. It's It's not Halloween. It's October.
Yeah.
And the feeling is in the air. Before we start, Rock and Shock this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
Today is the
11th.
Yes,
it is this
so it'd
weekend.
be the
It is this
15th. Yeah.
weekend. It is this weekend, Rock and Shock in Massachusetts. If you're in the area, buy some tickets. Go. We'll be there on Saturday. Give us a shout out on like Twitter or something. I don't know. And we'll get in touch with you.
Yeah.
You'll find us.
Twitter's the
roaming
best
around.
way.
Twitter's probably the best way. Yeah. Yeah, let's have a day. We're going to interview some people, hopefully. Phil Anselmo.
From Pantera.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk to him.
Matthew Lillard.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I've put in my feelers for all these people. So
Malcolm McDowell.
yes, I have his email address.
Dude,
Not his personal. He definitely does not use the internet.
gonna talk so long.
Let me tell you about. But the thing is, he never actually talks about anything, so I don't even know what he'd say. On a cold, spooky night.
I'm asking him about that first login for sure. You can't
Yeah.
talk about that first time you went on the internet
Yeah, I hope it's true.
and tell him it was me. Tell him it was Paul.
It's this guy named Paul.
I have Intel. Spoojaga 87.
So yeah, check that out, guys. We'll be there. And is there anything else we want to plug at the beginning of the show? Nah, we'll save it all for the end.
Yeah.
Oh, limited edition Halloween shirts. That's kind of important to get to in the
Yeah,
beginning. Those are at store.ihatehorror.com. That's our new t-shirt site through TeePublic. Anything you buy helps us out, but we currently have a special Halloween limited edition shirt. We're going to stop selling that October 31st. So if you want them, grab them. $14. I think that's a steal. So yeah. Mr. Boogedy.
Yeah, 1986.
I had never seen this before.
Okay, I have.
Did you watch it when you were a kid or no?
Yes.
Okay. So we're definitely going to have two different views on this.
No, I think they'll be the same.
I wasn't totally appalled by it.
Listen, I think, well, maybe this is the bias of having watched it. I do think that it emulated that feeling of being a kid during the month of October. Like it had that that vibe where it was kind of spooky, but it was also silly, and it was something to watch.
Oh,
on
it's silly.
Sunday night.
The father character made sure it was the silliest fucking movie of all time.
I mean, it's innocently fun, and I do wish that this happened more often, because even though it was
I
Disney,
agree with that.
it wasn't Disney Channel. It was like whatever Disney was on, ABC or whatever channel that was, and they did it every Sunday.
Yeah, it was great. It was the Disney Sunday night movie.
Yeah, I mean that was just a great way to like get with your family and put something on for
and
the
that
kids.
the movie's good, like you said. It's got a great feeling, and I wish there were more movies like this. Because you know what's not cutting it? Fucking Hallmark Channel and fucking what's the other stupid shitty channel that makes their own movies? Maybe it's just Hallmark.
I don't know.
They do like all the holiday Christmas movies.
That's Hallmark.
That's Hallmark.
Yeah.
They're fucking terrible. They're fucking pits. I know they've got their fans out there, but
Oh, my wife loves them.
yeah. Those are, we need more original like TV movies. They could do so well. They could like, you could do something awesome. I mean, does Disney even still do them for Halloween anymore or no?
That I'm not sure.
That's a tradition that should come back.
Agreed. If it's not still there.
Which we should have looked up on annual Disney movie review, which I'm glad our buddy Dante gave us this idea kind of in a chat on Facebook. He messaged us and was like, oh, you guys should do Mr. Boogedy. And we were like, oh, we'll see if we have time. And then he was like, yeah, you guys did Under Wraps last year, and that was cool. I was like, oh yeah, that would be cool to include that every October. Like, do that in Treehouse of Horror every year.
Yeah.
And fill up the
There's
rest
actually a bunch of Disney ones we could do for a couple years.
Oh, for a while.
Bride of Boogedy.
Halloween Town for 3.
Yeah.
It's fucking 3 years. Yep. Bride of Boogedy for sure. But this is the original Mr. Boogedy, man. And I watched a YouTube version like you did. But they actually have this available on Amazon to buy and rent. And,
I actually own this.
I'm really curious. Oh yeah, we talked about this. He owns it, and just based on the quality of this, I don't imagine even buying a quality. I feel like if I bought it from Amazon, it would still have the tracking lines.
For sure.
Like it was recorded from TV. Like the quality of this is just, you can't fix it.
Yeah.
There's no remastering this film. There's just no way. It just feels like they were like, oh shit. Like they dropped it in water before. They're just like, that's it. That's the best we can get. So Michael Eisner opens this. We're going to review this like we're watching on TV because we got commercials and all. And I love that. It's such a time capsule.
I'm a sucker for it as well.
Yeah. So we open with Michael Eisner, first we open up with the classic Disney intro with like the
Clips from all the movies,
the
and light ups,
snails,
yep.
walking down Main Street. And
very nostalgic.
Yeah, I love this intro so much, and it's the Disney Sunday movie. And Michael Eisner opens this up, which is always classic. I remember this guy like in front of every fucking movie on Disney. Like he was always there.
And his intro really sets the tone because he's talking about the movie and how it might be spooky for kids, and then his office starts like the paper
everything starts
fluttering and things start moving and floating.
Yeah, and he also opens it with I'm just finishing up a little work. Like he did not know the camera was in his office. It's so fucking awesome. You forget it's such a trope now, and it's such a joke, basically, and everything.
Yeah, but
you
30 years
people
ago,
fucking did that.
Yeah,
like they were, and like they did it for a reason. It was like some guy was the director or whatever was sitting there. It's gonna be like, families are gonna love this.
Well, it's weird, dude, because I just saw this now. That was 30 years ago, but 30 years before that, like TV just got invented because it was 1956. So it's still like relatively new.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And they're probably hitting Midwest people and. Like, they're like, you got to be like hometown. Like, you're just working at your desk.
Yeah.
Like, that's what people want to see. Oh, you're a hardworking dude. And by the way, being the CEO of Disney's got to be a fucking nightmare, right?
Sure.
I feel like there's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and the ghosts make Michael Eisner disappear after they make the room go crazy and they make Michael Eisner disappear. Like the Disney shareholders in 2005.
Oh, snap.
Burn. So let's start this movie. No one really of note in it. A lot of familiar people, except John Astin.
I disagree.
Who?
So that's Bud from Married with Children is the oldest son.
No.
Yep. And then Brian Tanner is from Alf is the youngest son. And then Christy Swanson, the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is the daughter.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
I should
man.
look this up before I said
And Witherspoon, who will be
that's John Astin.
Gomez.
Yeah, Gomez from the Addams Family.
And then
original.
the father's from The Thing.
Yes, I knew that.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's just one of those guys that's in everything.
Right.
And looks like our friend's father.
Yeah, the kids are all pretty successful.
Yeah, they were. I should have probably done the most basic of research before making a claim that no one's in the film. The Godfather, starring nobody. Nobody of note. This family, we open up. They appear to be on a beach. It was so weird. It was such a weird opening. And they're all wearing Groucho glasses.
All fake mustaches.
And I was so fucking angry. I was like, I don't want to watch this. I'm about to turn this fucking thing off. They're all wearing Groucho glasses, like having a picnic. And they're all like, like making these terrible jokes.
Awful.
It was so...
We find out that they own a gag company, which is why they're wearing the stupid
glasses. But do they
glasses.
ever, like, explain it? Or do they just, they're just like, figure it out? Which I'm actually kind of okay with.
About owning a gag company?
Yeah.
No, he says it.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. Because I was like, it would be nice if I knew for sure, but I was also like, I really don't need the dialogue.
The only way I know that is because I would have not figured that out on my own. It would have just been like, why does this asshole have so much shit?
It was weird. Why does this guy have so many practical jokes? And we find out they're moving to their first home ever. They've never owned a home before. And they say, this isn't going to be this isn't just going to be the perfect town. It's going to be the perfect house. Perfect setup. And then we see the house with Devil May Care Realty sign in the front. The town is called Lucifer Falls.
Lucifer Falls. Yeah.
So insane. And then there's a sign underneath the house sale sign.
It says not haunted.
It says not really haunted.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird statement. But we find out later because later on, like a ghost burns off the knot. So then it says really haunted. And I was like, well, now I see why it says whatever. Not really haunted.
And they're moving in, and the kid goes, "Do you think it's haunted, Dad?" And he's like, "Of course not, son. The realtor would have told me." That it's a common thing.
Like realtors have to disclose whether it's haunted. Something that doesn't actually exist. And I also like that the dad gets out of his car at this fucking house. It's the most haunted house.
No, I was just going to say, by the way, the answer is yes. This house is fucking haunted.
You see this house from a mile away, you know it's haunted. You don't need a realtor to tell you. It is literally it's textbook haunted house.
Yes.
Including thunder and lightning only there.
And when you walk in, there's cobwebs everywhere.
Yeah.
I would not step foot in a house. If I bought my house and there's cobwebs everywhere, big, fuck.
Dude, and the dad walks out and goes, just as advertised, a definite fixer-upper.
There's a fucking skull in the house. Dude, a human skull.
There's a human skull. The mom goes, "Hey, honey, here's a lamp." And then, they shine a flashlight on it, and she thought a skull. She picked up a human skull and thought it was a lamp. Oh my God, it's so fucking stupid. But yeah, this house looks so haunted. It's unbelievable.
So not only does this house look haunted, but they go inside, they find the skull, they find cobwebs everywhere, and there's a fucking man standing in their house.
Dude, just standing there. And his name is, we find out his name is Neil Witherspoon, and this is Gomez from Addams Family. And he's just standing in an empty house. How long has he been standing there? I don't know, because he doesn't want them there, so he was just hanging.
Also,
he says
you need to be way more concerned if you walk into your house and there's a man standing there that you just bought.
Later in the movie, there's some Mr. Boogedy leaves some footprints lying around, and the dad is all excited, and he's like, "Oh, this is definitely Mr. Witherspoon playing a prank on us. That's so funny." And he's having a good time about it, and I'm like, "So you're saying you're okay?" Even worse than a ghost is a man that is entering your house when you're not around and leaving pranks for you.
Well, the guy does love pranks. He loves a good prank.
Yeah, but there's a man entering your home.
He's like the original Phil Dunphy.
He's 100%, yeah. Except there's this air to Phil Dunphy that's just he kind of knows he's an idiot. This guy just
does not. Yeah.
No, this guy has no idea, no self-awareness whatsoever. But yeah, totally like that. And Mr. Witherspoon is telling them this. There's a tragic history.
Hold on, can I stop you for a second? Because so there's a guy standing in their house. He's walking towards them very slowly. It's completely dark. Keep in mind, there's a stranger in your house, and the dad introduces himself with a fucking hand buzzer in his hand.
My God.
And immediately shocks
That's
the guy.
right, yeah. That shocks him. And Mr. Witherspoon looks at him what is this asshole doing?
It's almost as if Gomez didn't know that guy had the buzzer in his hand. Like the actor.
Oh, yeah. No, that's really... I honestly think it might be the case. Because his face, it was like Paul face. He looked at this guy are you fucking kidding me right now? This is a fucking... and he looks at the family are you with this asshole? Is he with you? Because I'm about to fucking kill him.
Even if this guy hadn't broken into your house, to do that to someone the first time you meet him, you have to be a real asshole.
You really do. You have to have no social awareness. And why? Whatever. Anyway, I can't even. And Gomez, Mr. Witherspoon, starts telling him there's a tragic history with the house. You guys shouldn't be here. Leave. Straight up tells him leave. And he goes, "I'd hate to see anything evil happen to your family." And the dad the whole time is like, he's just kidding, right, Mr. Witherspoon? You're just kidding. And like, he does that like 3 or 4 times. And every time Mr. Witherspoon's like, no, I'm not fucking kidding. And he just keeps doing it. He's like, no, he's just kidding, guys, right, Mr. Witherspoon? And he's like, no, man, like, this place is haunted as shit. Place is haunted as fuck. Get the fuck out.
The only one that's really concerned is the daughter who tries to leave and the door shuts.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things in this movie I mean, as a kid, it doesn't matter, but there was like a lot of weird flip-flopping in it, like where like I was like, oh, the mom seems to be against the dad, and then later the mom's like 100% a goofball too.
Yeah,
and then like the kids, there's 2 sons and a daughter. The 2 sons seem to be all in on the ghost thing, and then later they're like halfway through the movie, they're like, you're an idiot for believing in ghosts. The daughter's like, no, I swear. I'm like, wait, weren't they like terrified of the ghosts?
Yes, they do flip-flop.
It was weird. They flip-flop, but I'm not going to pick it apart because it's a kid movie, and I just did, so it doesn't matter. So everyone shut the fuck up. I want to hear no fucking tweets about it.
So the daughter tries to leave, the door flies shut, and then Neil says, keep an eye out for the Boogedy Man, and screams, boogedy, boogedy, boo, in the kids' faces.
Dude.
And the screams it. Then he just leaves, and the dad goes, thanks, Neil. Don't ever change.
I didn't pick up on that. Don't ever change, Neil. Yeah, the boogedy, boogedy, boo part, he's saying that's what Mr. Boogedy says. And fun fact, he's 100%.
No, that's all he says.
In that same voice, he just boogedy, boogedy, boo. Fucking ridiculous. Yeah, we see the haunted house sign, the not really house sign explode, and it just says really haunted. Classic. And then the family just decides, you know what, we're going to walk around this house. This fucking pitch black house. We're going to let the kids walk around by themselves. There's cobwebs everywhere. It's in disrepair. Okay, let's say you didn't believe the house was haunted. That house would have
unsafe
vermin and animals living in it, 100%. It's totally unsafe for your children to be wandering around the house. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's crazy. And the daughter's walking around. She's like, she's all pissed off because they've moved. And she says, I bet no one here has even heard of Bruce Springsteen. That's her joke. So I did a little research on Bruce Springsteen. This was made in 86. Mm-hmm. 84 was Born in the USA. Mm-hmm. What a fucking album. Like that reference, like nowadays is kind of like, whatever. But like when you think about it, when I looked this up, which is why I looked it up because I was curious, like that really did mean a lot, like to not know who Bruce Springsteen was in 86.
Oh yeah, you would have to be.
84 was Born in the USA. What a fucking album. First of all, it got like 5 stars from like every publication ever. Dancing in the Dark, Born in the USA, Glory Days, I'm on Fire, Cover Me, No Surrender. All on one album. That's fucking insane. Do you like Bruce Springsteen?
My mom is like the world's biggest Springsteen fan. I've seen him live 3 times. He's great live.
Yeah.
I do not like his albums that much.
Yeah. I like that album a lot.
I do not.
I like that album. And we get our first commercial break.
I did not take notes on the commercials, but...
Well, you'll remember when I talk to you. I think the commercials are so fucking funny. I
remembered some.
So we start off with our first commercial. Call Can Cat Food. Never heard of this.
Oh, he sticks the vitamin in it?
Dude, this looks like it'll kill your cat. This does not look healthy. Cal Can Cat Food.
Yeah.
Fucking gross.
Just pushing pills into it.
Then we get this like 40-year-old man that's claiming he just graduated high school, lifting heavy weights, and he's talking about
it's the Marine Corps or whatever.
I was so confused. He's like, I can't afford college, and I was like, is he in jail? Because he looks like a man.
It's not a gym. It's like the jail yard room.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like it's very industrial looking. It's not like a normal gym. And then it turns out he's going into the Navy.
Yeah, that's it.
And he's like, serve your country first and get a great return on investment.
Do you remember the 80s? We're going to get so off topic here. Do you remember the 80s commercial where 2 big guys like are intimidating this little guy? And he's like, yeah, you could pick on me, but I wouldn't do that because I drink milk. And then he like gradually morphs into a big guy. And he's like, I probably forgive you, but I'll never forget. And he's just like this huge jacked man by the end of it.
No way.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. The 80s, first of all, I also loved how quick these commercials were. I think they're way more effective. There's commercials that honestly last like 3 seconds. It was so weird.
Well, that cat commercial, you knew exactly what they were selling.
Dude, it was like, hey, this cat food has a lot of vitamins in it. Buy Calcan cat food. And that was the end. And you were like, what the fuck happened? But like now it's stuck in my head forever. I'll never forget Calcan cat food. But everyone else did.
Yeah, I still remember that milk one.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you milk
and
one
they're
now.
so quick. And they just end so suddenly too. They're just like, they just cut. Then we get the sexiest Almond Joy commercial of all time.
Ooh.
It's just playing jazz music, like super sexy jazz music. And they're literally just going, ooh,
While chocolate is pouring slowly over
over coconuts and almonds.
Which is disgusting.
And it goes, The last one's really gross. Saying to a human, like, because it's supposed to be sexual. It's gross. And then it ends with, Almond Joy, ooh, for yourself. Fucking bizarre. I would never buy an Almond Joy if I saw a commercial.
I would never buy an Almond Joy ever.
That's true. Fuck Almond Joys. We had a discussion about candy on Twitter recently. Shitty candies. Almond Joys are up there. Did you mention that? You did mention that, I think.
Did I?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I fucking hate Almond Joys.
Yeah, I think that's
I hate shredded coconut. Disgusting.
Yeah, that's definitely on the list of crappy candy.
Yeah. That and Whoppers.
Whoppers are fucking vile.
Fuck Whoppers.
Dude.
Chocolate mothballs.
That's what they are. It's fucking gross. And then the final commercial we get is one of those split-second commercials, and it's for this show called Hardcastle and McCormick.
My mom used to watch it all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I had never seen this before. It was the most unfunny commercial. I wasn't even sure if it was supposed to be comedy, but I think it is. And it was so quick, and it was like, oh, dude, all these commercials are like South Park commercials, too. Like the Rob Schneider commercial.
As a carrot?
Yeah, that's like what every one of these commercials is. And it's like, oh, Hardcastle's at it again. And then it like cuts to Hardcastle and he's sitting on his car and he's like, what are we doing? And the guy's like, I don't know. And it's like, Hardcastle and McCormick at Tuesday at 8. And I was like, what the fuck? Like that showed me nothing. I have no idea what I'm going to see. It was the weirdest thing. I love those commercials. And then we're back, Mr. Boogedy. The family's having breakfast. Dude, how pissed would you be if the daughter wakes up?
Wait, I think we missed the boys in the basement. The boys went down to the basement.
I did. Yeah, you're right.
And it's only important because they hear things or whatever. And the youngest boy has a teddy bear. He puts it in the chair. The dad calls him to go upstairs. He goes to grab the teddy bear, and it's no longer there.
Yeah.
So
that was actually before the break. The daughter wakes up. She goes down to family breakfast.
And the dad is just like goading her into eating the eggs.
First of all, the dad's always like, oh man, how'd you guess my prank? It's because you're like literally winking at her. Dude, every prank he does, he's like, come on, have a bite of the egg.
And just leaning forward and staring at her.
He's just winking and being like, have a bite of the eggs. No one's, come on, have a bite of the egg. No, they're not, it's not a prank egg, I promise. It's not a prank egg.
Also, they're the shittiest looking eggs I've ever seen.
Dude, they're so fake. And then the girl's like, oh, rubber eggs again. And he's like, oh, how'd you know? How'd you guess?
It's so stupid.
And
then she hears like a ghost sneezing immediately afterwards.
Which I thought was so funny.
Sneezing ghost. And the dad is just still trying to pull pranks on her.
Dude, 100%. It's fucking ridiculous. It's so fucking stupid. And then the dad's pulling pranks. And then the dad's like, oh, all right, you got me. No more pranks. And then he's like, here, son, have an egg. And he's like holding the plate almost vertically. And the son's like looking at the egg like as if he's going to do something with it. And then he squirts water
out of it.
Out of a plate with an egg somehow. And the son is like, oh my God, Dad, you're so funny. Like, that's the best prank ever. And I'm like, I would be... If somebody sprayed me in the face with water first thing in the morning, I would honestly probably punch him in the face, family or otherwise. There's going to be a fight. I'll be so... I'd probably just smash my plate and walk out. I'd be so fucking angry.
Yeah,
like, the mom's like, oh, these classic pranks. But the daughter's like the only one that thinks the place is haunted, even though there's like nonstop.
There's clues all around.
This ghost has the biggest balls of all time. All these ghosts. They're just like, from minute one, they're just like, achoo! Like making shit move and stuff. Like they don't. They don't give a fuck. They got no chill, these fucking ghosts. And the daughter starts going around, snooping around. She sees a glowing door.
Green glowing
door. She opens it and falls over.
She hears Sinister laughing. That's what causes her to pass out. Yep.
And she gets like this bright light and she falls down and she's awoken by her family surrounding her. Who are they mocking her?
Yes.
Okay. That's fucking rude to find your daughter passed out and then you wake up and your mom's going, "Oh, honey, I don't know. You were talking about clicking your heels together in The Wizard of Oz." You fucking bitch.
And then the boys
just fainted.
The little boys are making fun of her pretty hard too.
Dude, the little boys are the worst. Little boys are like, "Oh, ghost, the ghost." And the mom's like, "Cut it out." And they're like, "We're just trying to be nice to her." I was like, what the fuck?
Which is funny because the very next scene, the boys are turned into believers
100%.
because they go down to the kitchen. The toaster turns on by itself. The faucet turns on. The faucet turns on in the most obnoxious way I've ever seen, spraying everywhere. Yeah. And then tea kettle goes off, and now everybody believes in the ghosts.
Yeah,
except for the parents.
Should we talk about the footprints? I mean, we kind of already did. The girl says there's footprints on the wall from Boogedy, and there are footprints on the wall, and the dad somehow peels them off and is putting them all over him and going, "Look, Mr. Boogedy walked all over me." He is such a fucking asshole. He's the most... It's funny because it's supposed to be a lighthearted guy. Like, that's what it's supposed to be. But the takeaway is, honestly, this dude is an insensitive asshole.
He's an incompetent parent.
He's such a piece of shit. He's so rude because his daughter, like, really believes in all this shit. And actually, there's physical signs. And he's like... And real reasons to be afraid that there was a man in your house. And he's just like, "Oh, I'm Mr. Boogedy. Look at me." So ridiculous. I had something else to say. No, I guess I don't. But yeah, the kids see like a dancing toaster. The sink turns on. Cabinets are opening. Tea kettles going nuts. And like a terribly menacing laugh. And the kids are just run out of that house.
Yeah.
And they all the kids, the daughter and the two sons, they go to the Lucifer Falls Historical Society, where
Mr. Witherspoon
is working. Go figure. That's a funny scene, though. I liked that scene.
I did too.
They're like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I work here." And they're like, "Oh." And he's like, "Why are you here?" They're like, "Because it's the Historical Society," which is not an answer. And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay." It's actually like a cool scene. He's like, I don't know. I thought it was
Well, the best part about this is that he's telling the Boogedy origin story, but he's doing it by using a fucking pop-up book.
Dude, I'm actually pissed that you had that. I thought I was like a genius for figuring that out. It's so funny. The Historical Society preserves their historical record keeping in pop-up book form. Their town notes are all in pop-up.
That would actually be amazing. I would be way more into my town's history.
I'd actually go to the Historical Society maybe once in a while to look at creepy old pop-up books for sure. And he tells this story that's pretty dark for a Disney movie.
Yes. It's
real
basically, to paraphrase it, some guy wanted some poon. He sold his soul to a very shitty-looking devil.
Funniest looking devil of all time.
To get a magic cloak, and he kidnapped the girl's son.
And instead, he wants to marry this girl, Miss Marion, the widow Marion. And so he gets a magic cloak. So you're like, oh, he's gonna like trick her.
Yes.
Or use the cloak to get her to marry him. And then it's like, yeah, then he abducted a child. Not requiring the cloak at all. He's like, the son was walking by himself and he took him.
I don't know why he has that cloak.
There's no reason. He could have done all this without a cloak.
But that's what turns him to the ghost. The cloak's what like makes him a ghost, though.
Right. That's all it did.
But I don't know why. And he just kidnaps his plan is so bad.
Well, because like the cloak, like then the house disappears and then they all become ghosts.
Yeah, but his plan sucks because he's like, I kidnapped your son, so you need to marry me. Which nobody's gonna be.
It's the weirdest.
It's called the authorities, Marion.
Yeah, Marion, you fucking idiot. Although it is pilgrim time, so they'd probably be like, "Shut up,
burn her at the stake."
Marion. Did you kill your husband, you stupid whore? Why have you not married Mr. Boogedy yet? The man's gonna make you honest.
Also, Gomez is making the story up as he goes, like the actor.
Oh, you think so?
Dude, Did you see his face? He's just making shit up.
That's so funny. And then Disney was like, "Dude, we gotta film that now."
Just ad-libbing it. Yeah.
Because we were seeing like cuts of like it was like it's not dramatizations, but actors acting out what Gomez was saying in the pop.
Yeah, flashback scene.
So yeah, that would be so funny. Like, Disney like got it the cut. And they're like, all right, let's film what Gomez said.
Like, oh my god,
they filmed
kidnapping.
it. Jesus Christ! Who let this slide? Who let him say this? He kidnapped kids. They're all dead. The house caught fire. They're all fucking dead. What are we doing? This makes no sense. I can't film this.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
I wish we could get like insider stories like that. But yeah, the house blows up for whatever reason because he has a cloak, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the kids go, "Geez, like, what should we do?" And Mr. Witherspoon's like, "I'd move."
Yeah, that's a suggestion. Yeah.
He might have ad-libbed everything. He must have been like, "Pay me, and I'm done. I'm done here." And we get another commercial break.
Yep.
Now, this commercial break, I have a lot of notes on. We get a Snickers commercial, which is fantastic. And then we get a stamp collecting commercial that blew my fucking mind. The guy goes, "The other day I took out my stamp collection. You know what I discovered? Myself." He goes on, this dude, it's like a picture of a guy in a stamp talking. And it is the most lonely, sad man I've ever seen.
It's just advertising stamp collecting. It's like
not
a business.
That is literally what it's advertising. Like, like the commercials for milk, like that are like sponsored by like Dairy Farmers of America. This is like sponsored by the post office and stamp collectors. It was so fucking bizarre. And the guy's like, "Look I get to pick out all the stamps I want and I put them in my book exactly how I like. And it's my stamp collection, and it reflects me." And I was like, "What is this?" I was like, it was like blowing my fucking mind. It was insane. It was insane. And I love it that there's a narrator, and it goes, "Start collecting today with this set of 5 beautiful fish stamps." They're not even like pretty tropical fish. They're like bass. Just a bunch of brown fish. I was like, I was crying. I was laughing so hard at that. We get a commercial for Peter Jennings, World News.
Rest in peace.
Who's the boss?
Yep. Ooh, a racy one.
Angela and him are.
They're about to fuck.
That was pretty hot. We get another great one. This one is a lot like South Park, like I said earlier, for Perfect Strangers. "After 1 month in America, Balky's bouncing around," and it literally shows a clip of him jumping.
And then just flexing his asshole. Not even his ass muscles.
Yeah, he got a checkbook, and apparently he's just like cutting checks to everybody and buying stupid shit. Some weird potato chip commercial, and then that Robbie and Evel Knievel will be on the morning show. Maybe the 80s is awesome. I wish I could turn on the morning show and see Robbie and Evel. Evel's dead, right?
Yeah, he must be.
I think he's dead now. And we're back to Mr. Boogedy.
Yeah.
The kids come home, and their super understanding and sensitive father is dressed as a giant gorilla.
Gorilla?
Boogedy, boogedy, boo.
They're not scared at all.
No.
They're just like, oh,
which is insane.
It's our idiot father. Yeah.
You are in a haunted house. Anything would terrify me.
Right. He goes... Then the dad hears noises. And he's like, "I don't know how you're making those noises, but I do know that the house is not haunted."
Yeah. And that's like the dad's MO the whole time. Like shit happens and he's like, "How are you doing that?" It's like, "It's not us."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, it's you."
But speaking of shit happening, the piano starts playing immediately, and then a mummy comes out of nowhere. It starts like hugging the dad, like just physically accosting him.
And by the way, before that, the mom is all of a sudden just going, never done that the whole show, and she's just dying laughing the whole time. It was so fucking weird.
So, and then everything dies down. The mummy disappears. The piano stops playing. The mom and the kids, like the mom was like, "Finally, I want to leave," and the dad's like, "What? Why?" Like,
dude, the dad is
hey, guy,
so confused.
Fucking mummy. Why is there a mummy in your house?
It was so fucking weird.
And his great idea is to camp out. And by camp out, he means take sleeping bags and sleep in front of the fireplace.
But then tell spooky stories. Like, why would the whole family agree to that? Like, everyone believes except him. They are in a haunted house, and the dad's like, And then one night. And you're like, dude, you are such a giant piece of shit. Your entire family is terrified and you're telling ghost stories. It's so fucking ridiculous. But the mom gets up for a midnight snack. The biggest midnight snack ever, by the way. Including a lot of single individually wrapped cheese slices. And she hears like a tapping at the window. She goes, is someone tapping at the window? She goes over there. And it's a ghost. And she like literally says, are you a ghost?
Yes.
And the ghost goes, yeah.
Yeah. It's Miriam, and the mom is having a full-on conversation with this ghost, like inviting it in for coffee.
Dude, she's like, oh, you're the widow Mary, and I've heard so much about you. Come in. Come right in.
Very happy
and
to hear.
Miriam's like, I can't. I already told you that. I can't fucking come in and I'm a ghost. Why are you inviting me in the house? But the mom relays this news to the dad, who has been a non-believer the entire time, and tells this obscene story about meeting a ghost outside. And the dad's like, well, we have to do something. Like, for the ghost. It's like, we got to fix this. What do we have to do? Mom's like, well, she mentioned we got to get rid of Mr. Boogedy. And he's like, all right, let's do it.
Yes.
And that's all it took. He's like, well, this is ridiculous. We got to save Marion. I just realized this chair's super squeaky, so that'll be fun for the listeners. So they decide they're going to go chase down Mr. Boogedy. Of course, they see a room with the green light under the door. They think they've got him. They open it, but they say it was a trap. I don't think it was a trap, though. Anyway. And then we hear one of the boys screaming from the downstairs, stop, stop, stop. Commercial break. Yeah, this is weird. Commercial break. We get Juicy Fruit.
The greatest jangle of all time.
Yeah. The taste is gonna move ya. There were some funny lines in that, though. Take a sniff, pull it out. What? Taste is gonna move you when you pop it in your mouth. Fucking gross. Who was writing jingles like this? Like, we could write that. We could write that. We get the unsinkable taste of Cheers. By the way, maybe commercials should have jingles, though. Bring back jingles.
Yeah, for
there
sure.
are no jingles. In high school, a good friend of ours, Matt P., super funny kid. We were in this like low-level algebra class, and it was all a bunch of us like just terrible students. And we sat in the back one day, and the teacher kicked like 4 of us out because we were having a debate about who had the better jingles, American Ladders and Scaffolds or American Steakhouse. And the songs are very similar.
The correct answer is Ladders and Scaffolds.
Yeah, I'll sing them for you. American Ladders and Scaffolds.
We'll take you higher.
We'll take you higher. And then American Steakhouse is America loves American Steakhouse. And it just repeats that over.
Actually, it might be American Steakhouse.
It's American Ladders and Scaffolds. Dude, we'll take you higher is so funny.
Yeah, no.
It's just
I get it.
On the nose. It's so on the nose. And we had a full-on debate, and we were singing it in class, and the teacher was finally like, get the fuck out of the classroom. Like, there are some students here.
Did her name start with a V?
No, it was a man.
Oh.
And he literally just like, I got a 0 on a test once, and I showed all my work. That was the type of class this was. Like, I literally showed all my work. And he was like, I'm sorry. Like, this is terrible. He was like, I can't give you points. Like, it was just like, I don't even know what you're trying to do. And our friend Matt took it because he was so proud of it. He was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Matt loved bad grades.
He was like, I've gotten 0s before, but I did nothing on the paper. He's like, your paper is filled with answers. Like, it was filled with formulas. And he's like, and you got a 0. Like, you did so much work. He was so impressed by that.
Yeah, he loved bad grades.
Yeah.
I would never forget his exam. He just drew the Batman symbol for every question, even though he knew the answers.
A couple other commercials. Cheerios, Orville Redenbacher with Orville Redenbacher in it.
Yep. Yeah.
It's so weird. And he's like, I love my puppy corn. Fucking gross. We get a Ford Ranger commercial where they definitely killed like a handful of horses.
The horsepower one?
Yeah. Dude, this truck is like literally driving with horses all around it. 100% killed like 2 horses at least. And then we get a MacGyver commercial where there's just ants everywhere, and it goes, MacGyver battles the nature's deadliest creation, and then it just cuts abruptly again. You're just like, ants? MacGyver's gonna fight ants? What the fuck? And we're back for the final installment of Mr. Boogedy here.
Yes.
Back at it. We last see the kids.
By the way, this movie's pretty much over. There's like 10 minutes left, and we haven't seen Mr. Boogedy.
No. You never see Mr. Boogedy. And the kid's fighting with a ghost for stealing his teddy bear.
Yes.
That's what he was screaming, stop, stop, stop about.
A ghost kid.
Yeah.
A kid ghost.
The other kid comes downstairs like, you know who this is. It's old Johnny or whatever. Timmy. From Pilgrim Times. And the kid's like, oh. Like as if it's...
a normal thing.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay, it's a ghost. I got it now. All right. And the ghost kid's voice is like the saddest voice of all time, dude. I'm sorry. I just lonely for friends. You're like, oh my God. This poor ghost kid's been lonely for 300 years. All he wants is a stuffed animal to be friends with. It's fucking terrible. The house is going full on nutty now. Shit's just flying around. And we finally see Mr. Boogedy.
Very stupid and ugly.
He's like the Green Lantern meets a burn victim, meets the Emperor from Star Wars.
Yes.
Meets Robin Hood.
Sure. Because he has cloak.
It's a very odd combination.
Emperor's a good one.
And literally all he's doing is going boogity, 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 boom.
That's all he says.
All over and over again. Over and over. And he kind of is attacking the kids. He makes one float to the ceiling.
He makes Bud Bundy float to the ceiling.
And
Dude, the best is one of the kids takes their dad's sneezing powder and just blows it right into his face. So Boogedy sneezes.
And then it's like, okay, I'm fine.
The sneeze knocks everyone down.
And he, and he chases the kid with a vacuum, like using his Boogedy powers. He chases this kid with a vacuum. Powers. And the kid hides behind Mr. Boogedy, and Mr. Boogedy's like, oh, oh, oh. And then the vacuum sucks in his cloak and rips it off. And
He's so easy to defeat.
Simple enough. This is the most simple thing. Like, a vacuum sucks in his cloak. A ghost
his
cloak.
own vacuum, which he could just move out of the way from.
Because it's his Boogedy powers. And he's like, oh! He gets zapped away. That's it, man.
He disappears. Dude, that's the beginning and the end of Mr. Boogedy for the viewers.
And we get to see Marion reunite with her snot kid, and that's a wrap. We see a couple spooky things happen at the end where the dad's like, there's no such thing as ghosts, and then like a clown is like,
and it winks at him, and the dad's like,
he really can't believe it. After
just fought a ghost.
He's like, like a record screeching to a halt. Oh man, all this movie needed was like a Boogedy rap.
It did need a Boogedy rap,
but we didn't get the Boogedy rap. And that's fucking Mr. Boogedy. But we get one more commercial before credits. They were still pulling that stunt in the 80s. Like, stay tuned for the end of Mr. Boogedy. So you stick through the commercials and it's just credits. And these commercials are great. There was a commercial just about putting cheese on everything. Sponsored by like Cheese of America. And it was like, make a cheese sing. And it was like,
make it cheese. Oh, wait, no.
It was like, put your cheese on everything. It was like some country song. Like Southern rock.
Hold on. Fuck. Now it's going to drive me crazy because it was a parody of a...
I almost...
No, it was Hank Williams. What song was it?
Oh, well...
wasn't it Hey Good Looking?
Hey, good looking. Yeah.
What you got cooking?
Yeah.
How about cooking with some cheese?
Yeah, but it was like, put your cheese in everything. And it's just showing disgusting American cheese melted over everything. By the way, I love American cheese.
Me too, but it's melted over everything.
Everything. And so much. Dude, there's a potato.
I have such diarrhea.
There's a potato. They show 3 potatoes in the oven, and there's literally a block of American cheese on it that they melt over the entire, encasing the potato.
A pound of Land O'Lakes.
It was so fucking crazy. A Twix commercial, not really notable. Arm & Hammer deodorant spray, where it's like super crystals in the air that you'll breathe in and probably get cancer from. And then the TV premiere of Disney's Robin Hood. What'd you think about this movie, man?
Like I said,
we already talked about
in the
that.
beginning.
Yeah, my bad. I don't know if I gave my 2 cents, but yeah, it was. It's a good movie for a kid, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a little boring. I mean, it's not boring, but it is. Like, nothing happened.
It's a good 80s kid movie. Like, I don't think a kid right now would, because
No.
they have so much at their hands.
Yeah.
But for the time, I think it served its purpose.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the support. I hope you're following along with our 31 movies for October. Next week, we are doing The Simpsons. I'm not sure which episodes, so we'll announce that on online. Follow us on Twitter for that. And then we're going to do Rob Zombie's Halloween movies the following week. So that'll be really neat. We're getting closer to Halloween. You excited?
Very.
And remember, Rock and Shock this weekend, if you're around.
Come say what's up.
Yeah, I really want to meet.
It was very cool, the couple of fans that we got to meet so far.
Yes. Yeah. And that's it, man. Facebook. First, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. That's the best way you can help us. Tell your friends. Do that. If you rate, review, or subscribe, send me an email. Sean at I Hate Horror, and I'll mail you some stickers. Free stickers, man.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay for shit. If you can support monetarily, patreon.com/IHateHorror. It's a monthly subscription that you can cancel anytime. It's really just a donation. We do try to do some fun stuff on there. Google Hangouts, which we haven't done in forever, but we have to. Google Hangouts, early access to episodes, bonus episodes, things of that nature. What else are we doing? Store.IHateHorror.com for our shirts. Limited edition Halloween shirt up there now. What else? Follow us. I'm tired. Facebook.com/IHateHorror, IHateHorror.com, and follow me on Twitter at IHateHorrorShow and Instagram at IHateHorror.
Follow me on Twitter at JoeV421, Instagram Boogedy1985, Snapchat Horror Show Joe.
You got to snap Joe. Joe loves the snaps, man. He really does. That's it. Snap.
I do. Depending on what they are.
That's it, guys. Thank you all so much again. Really appreciate it. It's been amazing that this last month, you guys, craziest numbers we've ever had. The population of our town listened to our show last month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's stupid. So thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. And that's it. That's a wrap. So for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.